Stephen Coreno, KOR Sports. We're here with Nostradamus Teofimo Lopez, the original, the OG. Man, your son looks amazing, bro. He looks healthy. He looks like he's been eating, maybe probably more than before. Tell me, kind of the week leading up to that Kambosos fight. I asked your son about it. He said his throat was like feeling bad. It was just all. But did you kind of notice that something was going on? Something was up with him?
Complications started like right after he lost that first pound. After he was at 140, he felt strong, he felt ready. When he started losing those extra pounds, that's when everything started just getting messed up. He could hardly breathe, he could hardly swallow. His throat got a little bit swollen, and I was a little bit concerned, but we really didn't know his condition. Coming into the fight, I thought everything was going to be fine, but then it happened from the beginning, from the first round. The problem started, and I mean, if I would have known how serious it would have been, I would have never let him fight. But I'm not a doctor, so it was impossible for us to know how sick he was. But I really hate talking about that. I want to talk about the future. Right now, we're looking at the best fighters at 140 and get the best fights out there, and give what the people want, entertainment.
You're fighting Pedro Campa next, obviously, the August 13th on ESPN this Saturday. Man, the guy has over 30 wins, 23 KOs, more KOs than Teo even has fights, man. Why fight such a tough dude kind of first time out after the loss?
Well, that's the fight that they had for us, and my son doesn't say no to any fight. People don't understand this guy is a strong fighter. He has a lot of knockouts, so, anything can happen in boxing. We coming ready. We coming, to fight a world champion, even though not a lot of people know Pedro Campa, but, he has a really good record. A better record than a lot of fighters out there. So, Pedro Campa is a real dog, and we coming in to show the whole world why we always choose the strongest fights, and I think it's a good fight for him coming back, and get a bigger fight in December.
I was going to say, obviously, Oscar De La Hoya is coming on Saturday. A lot's been made of, Ryan called out Teo. He said if he can't get Tank Davis at 135, he wants Teofimo at 140. Do you feel that's very realistic? Do you feel that after this win on Saturday by your son, that we're looking at like a possible Ryan versus Teo before the end of the year?
Well, that could happen. Anything's possible. Ryan is going back and forth with Tank. Oscar feels like that fight is not going to be made, so he's coming over to see my son, and hopefully we get a contract and we make the fight happen. But like I said, anything goes in boxing, so we don't know. Right now we're looking for belts. We're chasing belts. If the opportunity shows itself for us to get a belt next, we'll go for that. But if the fight looks good for us to fight Ryan Garcia, the money's right, of course we're going to fight him. We follow Lomachenko, why should we fight him? And so we're ready to fight anybody right now.
Just going back to the Ryan Tank fight, if that fight were to play out at this point in their careers, do you lean one way or the other with those two guys?
Well, I see that fight 50-50. You never know what Ryan's going to go in there, what Tank is going to go in there. Before, I thought Tank had, all the opportunity of beating him, but after I've seen a couple of, especially with the Fortuna fight, I've seen a better Ryan. So anything can happen, and, let the best man win.
And Rolly was doing pretty good against Tank as well, right, for the beginning of that as well.
Tank always in the beginning, always starts getting hit and always losing a lot of rounds, but you got to always be careful with his left hand, and I believe that Ryan got everything to be able to beat him, So let's see who, if they make that fight happen, I see a 50-50.
Man, just as a great boxing mind, I got to get your take on a potential fight, Crawford versus Spence. We haven't got the announcement yet. Hopefully mid-November, it sounds like. If you're on Team Crawford, right, what are you telling him to be aware of with Spence and vice versa? If you're on Team Spence, what are you telling him? Hey, you got to be careful with this with Crawford.
You just got to be careful because Spence is very determined. He doesn't give up. He's a live dog in there, and he's a hungry boxer. He just keeps on coming. He doesn't stop. He digs a lot. He just got to be careful with his body. You know what I'm saying? Because Spence goes to the body a lot, and Crawford got to be in the best shape of his life. For that fight, and the same thing, towards Spence, Crawford is is a person that doesn't lose. You know, he always finds a way to win. So you know, that's another 50-50 fight. You know, so you know, just let the best man win. You know.
You see that as 50-50 because you said Spence is kind of a live dog. So do you because a lot of people do tell me Crawford, and even people who tell me Spence tend to tell me that.
Take nothing away from Spence, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, Spence just keeps on coming. You know, and he's a very smart fighter. He goes to the body like I said. So it's got to be the best Crawford in there to beat Spence. You know, but yeah, that fight to me is like a 50-50 fight.
Well, I'm sure we'll see the best of Teofimo Lopez this Saturday. Man, we're all making weight. You here in the sweatsuit, yeah.
Sweatsuit on, but I mean, you know, I feel comfortable, I feel good, and I feel healthy. And come August 13th, don't miss it, man. It's going to be a great fight and explosive, entertaining. So it's got all the features for everybody to watch him on August 13th. Don't miss it, you know, on ESPN. So thanks a lot.
The star returns.
For having me. And then out Nostradamus, you already know. Take it over.
Appreciate you, Senior. Thank you.